Hey guys, welcome back to Caden's Corner. For the Seahawks heading into this offseason, there were some major questions and concerns after the underperforming season. The main question being, would Russell Wilson still be in command of this offense? And if he were to leave, who would replace him in the draft with a very down year at that position? The Seahawks ended up dealing Wilson to the Broncos for 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, Drew Lock, and Noah Fant. For the Seahawks, it was either try and get lucky with the mediocre draft class or tank and have Drew Lock or Geno Smith be your starting quarterback. Things were looking bad for the Seahawks as inevitably it was a tanking year. But after 7 weeks, Geno Smith has led the Seahawks to the top of the NFC West, 3rd in the NFC playoff race, and has looked like a top 10 quarterback in the process. He leads the league in completion percentage, he's 7th in passing yards, 6th in passing touchdowns, and has the 4th best QBR in the league. Not to mention, Geno is leading the 5th highest scoring offense in the NFL. But let's hop on the film and see what he's doing so well. Let's start week 4, the Seahawks are at the Lions. Geno and this offense are in the red zone, and the Seahawks are going to be running a 4 verticals out of this 2 tight end set. The look that the Lions are going to give them defensively is a cover 1 man. The single high safety is going to cheat to the side where DK and Lockett are because obviously that's a greater threat to this defense. When Geno fakes the play action, he sees that he's got man-to-man and the safety's on the other side of the field. So he puts this ball in the only spot that his tight end can get it and throws a beautiful back shoulder ball. Early on, this is one of the plays that I wanted to show in this film study where Geno shows off his incredible accuracy and confidence. We'll stay in this Lions game for the next play. Fant's going to motion across to the other side, and the Seahawks are going to show an empty look here. Pre-snap, the Lions are showing a single high safety, manned up across the board with the bottom of the screen pressing and the top playing off. The ball is snapped, and the Lions are going to simulate pressure here, blitzing the linebacker and dropping Hutchinson into coverage. Geno uses his eyes to manipulate the safety, glancing at him for a second, and then firing this go ball to DK in stride for a massive play. I noticed that Geno is very confident in his pre-snap reads and using his eyes to move the safety. He does a great job of it here, and it results in a massive play for the Seahawks. Geno pre-snap knows that the Lions are bringing pressure and audibles to the second play called in the huddle. The linebacker comes up to the line of scrimmage and the safety on the near side hash begins to creep up, further showing blitz, and in this situation it's going to be a cover 0. This means there's going to be no safety over top, so if Geno can get the time, he has potential for a massive play downfield. The Lions bring the heat as expected, and he waits till the very last second to get rid of this ball, knowing that the hit is coming, and delivers a strike to Lockett down the field for a big play. Week 5 against the Saints in the Superdome in a shootout back and forth game that went down to the wire, and Geno looked his best all season in this game and delivered every big time throw when he needed to. But this by far was his best throw of the season. Once Lockett motions over, Geno doesn't like the play and quickly audibles out again. The Saints are showing a too high look and end up running a cover 4 press. Lattimore points to the safety to pass him off as the Seahawks show this crosser's look. DK ends up breaking this back outside, and Lockett gets the slightest bit of daylight behind the safeties. Geno delivers an absolute dime into triple coverage for the best throw I've seen from any QB all season. Geno has evolved into such an accurate and confident quarterback, and man does it show on this play. The Seahawks against Atlanta down in the red zone, Seattle down 7 trying to tie it up before halftime, and the Falcons pre-snap show a single high look, so Geno is anticipating that he can use his eyes to move this safety. The safety rolls over into that half of the field. Geno looks right, comes back left, sees that he has enough daylight, and rips this go ball to DK. This ball is perfectly high and away for DK to make a great catch. Geno's confidence to fire this ball into a tight window in the red zone is one of the things that makes him so special. I think that only a handful of quarterbacks currently in the NFL could make this pass, not to mention the pinpoint accuracy to hook up with Metcalf for the score. Back to the New Orleans game, where this is a very close second to Geno's best throw of the season. The Seahawks play action into the naked bootleg. When Geno gets outside of the pocket, he has the DN crashing down on him. He's able to get separation, but not enough time to set his feet and complete this throw to Fant. So he improvises and flips his hips and casually flicks this pass over the outstretched arms of the defender for a Patrick Mahomes-esque throw. Later on in this game, he completed a similar throw like this. He gets a clean pocket, but when the time runs out, he steps up. But instead of immediately running, he keeps his eyes downfield. He again doesn't have the time to set his feet and throw this ball. So before passing the line of scrimmage, he flips his hips on the run and flicks this pass downfield for a touchdown. The degree of difficulty on both of these throws is incredible, and Geno makes it look effortless. Back to Atlanta, and the Seahawks need to score late here in the 4th to take the lead. Atlanta playing soft gives the Seahawks a cover 4 look. They fake the play action, and Geno throws this dangerous over route to Tyler Lockett. If he leads him like a normal route, this is a hospital ball for Lockett. He throws this ball a tad bit behind him so that Lockett's able to secure the catch and see the next play. Seahawks line up in a 2x2 on both sides, and Geno's going to end up targeting this post from Lockett on the top of your screen. The Saints are only going to rush 3 on this play, and again, Geno steps up and delivers a dime to Lockett over that safety. Also, look at his footwork when he steps up and how he flicks this ball. He's making Patrick Mahomes type throws left and right, and he's not getting enough credit for it. With the pros, there's going to be cons. So let's talk about some of the negatives with Geno. When watching the film, I noticed that when Geno gets pressured, his footwork tends to break down. First, we'll look at his footwork when he has a clean pocket. His release is very fast, and he does a great job of stepping into his throws. I have noticed that he is very upper body dependent when he releases his passes and can do a better job of using the power from his lower body. But let's look at what happens to his footwork when he has pressure in his face. He drops back and unnecessarily chops his feet. Instead of planting his back foot when throwing this ball, he brings it forward, and it leads to an unnatural end to his release. On the next throw, he has a rusher in his face, and instead of stepping up in the pocket, he drifts back and fades away while releasing this pass. This causes the inaccuracy on this pass from Geno. The next throw, he is pressured but doesn't have good mechanics. Instead of driving into this throw, he keeps his front foot planted and doesn't get maximum velocity on this throw. Here's another example of Geno's footwork hurting him. He drops back and has a clean pocket, and he has a throwing lane to rip this pass to Lockett for an easy touchdown, but instead he drifts backwards and fades away while throwing this ball, and it ends up being incomplete. The Seahawks have to settle for 3 points instead of an easy touchdown. It seems to be a habit with him when he's pressured, and his mechanics rely on his upper body and not his footwork. Being said, this hasn't impacted Geno too much, and it isn't causing frequent inaccuracy. He has the highest completion percentage in the NFL and only has 3 interceptions on the season, so these aren't massive problems for him. But let's look at some of his interceptions and see where he went wrong. We'll start with his first one of the season, week 2 against San Francisco. The center gets driven back right into Geno. He's not able to release this or step into his throw cleanly. It results in an inaccurate throw and a tip drill pick. I wouldn't blame this interception on Geno. The next one is in Atlanta. The Seahawks are down 4 and need a touchdown on the last play of the game. Geno has to roll right and is just hoping to make a play, and it gets picked off. I also wouldn't blame that one on him, but this is the one that I think is fair to blame on him. He throws his pass into a tight window that ultimately is not covered, and the ball gets tipped and picked. Overall, Geno Smith does not turn the ball over at all and is a very intelligent quarterback. Coming into this season, nobody had seen a guy who had previously been a bust and a career backup break out in his 10th season. But Geno Smith on the 4th team in his career has looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The Seahawks, in what looked like to be a tanking year to get either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, may have found their answer at quarterback. Not to mention, the Seahawks have one of the worst defenses in the NFL, so addressing that in the draft would be smart. If Geno Smith can continue to do what he's done so far this season, I see no reason for the Seahawks to draft a quarterback. Stick with Geno and draft on the other side of the ball. I'm Caden Kubler, and that's my take.